Hello class, Ryan Roscoe here. So today I'll be presenting some traditional and non-traditional stress management techniques that we can all utilize during times of distress. So one of the main reasons why I chose this topic was because stress management was an aspect of wellness that I struggled with throughout my entire life. Growing up and even until recently, I had a hard time dealing with stress. So when confronted with stressful situations, it would not only affect my mind but my body. And so I chose this research topic to not only help myself but to also help my fellow students. I think this is a very unique time in our life. We're presented with a lot of challenges and obstacles, and especially in the APU Master's program. And so my goal here is that you'll be able to utilize some of the stress management techniques that you can carry on into the future. So stress is a daily part of living. Just waking up in the morning and sorting out what we're going to wear produces stress. So what exactly is it? According to Dr. Hans Selye, stress is a non-specific response of the human organism to any demand placed upon it. So in simple terms, it's just our body's mental and emotional physiological response to anything new and scary and exciting. So the problem is that when these stress levels reach mental and emotional limits, we're no longer able to function effectively. So some of the negative effects are things like heart disease, hypertension, ulcers, depression, the list goes on. So this is where stress management comes in. Stress management allows us to embrace this stress and maintain optimum mental health and wellness. The first traditional stress management technique I'm going to talk about is exercise. So a research study conducted by the University of Birmingham concluded that physical activity and exercise has a positive effect on physiological stress and well-being in the 147 case participants. So further research found that physical activity can release the morphine-like substance known as endorphins, and it reduces muscle tension, strengthens the cardiovascular system. And so exercise is also a social activity that helps to allow people to meet new people, develop friendships through their common interests. The next technique I will discuss is the non-traditional form of stress management called emotional freedom technique, or also known as tapping. I personally use this technique in my life and have found to have amazing results. So tapping was first introduced in the 1990s, and how it works is that an individual taps on 9 acupoints while speaking a specific meaningful short phrase. So the key part of this therapy is measuring the intensity of either physical or emotional pain, and this allows the individual to measure the progress of the pain and stress. So this technique has been shown to reduce pain, increase acceptance and coping abilities, and also increase your quality of life. So the next technique is known as guided imagery. Now, guided imagery has been around for ages. Many Native American and indigenous traditions have used this as a form of therapy. This technique uses relaxing visual images and encourages you to think of times of distress in order to objectify and also to eventually minimize the source of stress. So this technique encourages you to use all of your senses, and it wants you to take yourself into a safe place or a favorite vacation destination. So this research has shown that guided imagery has been able to treat depression, anxiety, and even pain from cancer patients. So the key to stress and stress management comes down to how we perceive stress itself. So if we see stress as a problem in our lives, then it's going to start to negatively affect us. So the first step is to recognize the presence of a problem. And so by taking the time to stop and listen to our minds and body, we're able to respond more objectively and initiate a coping response. So again, there's many traditional forms of stress management such as yoga, progressive muscle relaxation, meditation, and a lot more. So these are some strategies, again, that I have used to help relieve my stress and anxiety in my life and plan to incorporate well into the future. As far as professional application, as a wrestling coach, I've actually used guided imagery before to help our wrestlers gain a mental advantage over their opponents. I also plan to use progressive muscle relaxation for my athletes to help relieve some muscular pain that they may have. So if I had the ability to do so, future research I would investigate is the effect that diet has on stress management. So I'm specifically interested in finding if a vegetarian diet and a diet free of red meat has any profound effect on mental health. So you may be wondering which technique will work best for you. Well, each person handles and reacts to stress differently, so finding the best coping strategy really comes down to the individual. So the best thing you can do is experiment with all the techniques that are available and find out which one works best for you. But before I leave, I wanted to share some quick tips for stress management. So the first is to do something you love every day. Make sure you're finding the time to do the things you enjoy, whether it's playing piano, dancing, or riding a bike. Self-care is so important and fundamental part of our mental health. And lastly, keep your sense of humor. This includes being able to laugh at yourself because laughing helps your body fight stress in so many different ways. Thank you.